Liverpool have signed Alexander Isak for £125 million with £5 million in solidarity payments. I'll explain that in the video. Is this the beginning of a domino effect that could affect Chelsea? Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. I have just got off the back of a 3-hour live stream. It is nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, but it is all kicking off. So do you know what? I thought, why not? I'll just make a video about it. But guys, before I get into it, if you're enjoying the content, you want to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Right, so Isak to Liverpool. It's on, right? So we'll talk about the domino effect, and then towards the end of the video, I'll explain the solidarity payments, because I've just learned and figured out what that means as well. So Isak is going to go to Liverpool from Newcastle. Newcastle have obviously recently just bought Walter Marder, but have still potentially been in the market for other strikers as well. Nicolas Jackson had his loan move from Bayern Munich cancelled and has been brought back to the club. We also recalled Mark Gue from his loan at Sunderland. So there's lots going on, and this is how we think it might all add up together. At the end of the day, we're going to find out tomorrow, but it's fun to speculate, isn't it? Hopefully you guys are catching this in the morning when you're waking up. So news has come out that Newcastle are looking at Nicolas Jackson and Kolo Muani of PSG, whose move to Juventus just fell through, as potential additions to the squad. Supposedly they were in for Strand Larsen before, but there are better options on the market now, and now they've got some bank as well, haven't they? So we've been talking loads tonight about why would we be bringing back Nicolas Jackson and Mark Gue, right? So if there was an anticipation that this was going to happen, then maybe we were thinking, right, okay, so we've got something in the and the byline has gone down, and Chelsea have got this wind that Isak was going to sign for Liverpool, and maybe he's going to be an option to get a permanent sale, because that's what Chelsea always wanted from the Nicolas Jackson deal, right? They wanted a permanent sale. Bayern Munich were not even willing to put an obligation into their loan. They were willing to pay a chunky loan fee of about 15 mil, which is probably the largest loan fee ever, but they weren't willing to commit to an obligatory buy after the season was out. So we've brought him back. We've brought Mark Gue back. That will have been at the behest of Sunderland. There will have been something agreed. We'll have covered for whatever their costs have been in order to market him and to bring him into the club, and I'm sure there'll be a bit on top of that as well. So Nicolas Jackson is a target for Newcastle. Now, why this is interesting is because I've talked about it on this channel a few times before. Disaster tax is a thing, right? When you get injuries, or when you sell a player for a lot of money, as soon as you go in for someone, all of a sudden these prices go up, don't they? So maybe we're going to hold out for that 70-80 mil for Nicolas Jackson. Maybe we do just go with the 50-60 because we want to get some more money on the books. Maybe this affects the purchase of Fermin Lopez as well. Fermin Lopez played in La Liga today, came off the bench. At the end of the game, Hansi Flick was asked, is there anything going on with Fermin Lopez? Hansi Flick gave this kind of vague answer, and he wasn't super direct with it. He was saying stuff about egos, maybe a couple of veiled little jabs at the fact that potentially Fermin Lopez has been asking for more game time. So now the Jackson thing might be happening. Potentially that affects our ability to pay more money for him as well. Does that mean that we start to see João Pedro back up in the number 9 spot, and because we've got that number 10, is there another striker option that we could go for? I keep joking that we're going to go in for Danny Welbeck because we love buying players from Brighton. Basically, guys, it's all absolutely kicking off, and it's just mental. So the big thing, obviously, Isak to Liverpool. Does that mean that the league's done? Do you know what I mean? Let me know what you think in the comments about that. So, as I said before, the fee for Alexander Isak is 125 mil, but with 5 mil in solidarity payments, right? So I've said that word so many times, it's starting to not feel real anymore. So what that means basically is Liverpool are going to pay Newcastle £125 million, and Newcastle won't receive any more than that. What a solidarity payment is essentially an agreement that will have been made when he was initially sold from AIK in Sweden, his original Swedish club, when he was 16. When he got sold to Dortmund, there would have been an agreement in that because they would have believed in him quite a lot. And there was also something going on in football in general that tries to get money down to grassroots football, right? And obviously teams that help develop players that become really, really, really good. So what this basically means is the £5 million extra, which is nearly €9 million, about €8 million, I think, is going to be split between the 4 clubs that Alexander Isak was at before he got to Newcastle. Okay, it's like AIK or ALK, sorry, I can't remember which one it was, but the Swedish club, Borussia Dortmund, Willem II, and Real Sociedad are all going to get a little cut of that 5 million extra. That is what the solidarity payment is. It's not something you see very often, but it's essentially there to try and make sure that if a club does their bit in developing a footballer who goes on for a massive fee, then they get a little bit of it. Like I say, you don't see it very often, so it was interesting for it to pop up in this one. For instance, I don't remember seeing anything about this when we bought Caicedo for 115 mil or when we bought Enzo Fernandez for over 100 mil. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what qualifies a player to do these solidarity payments, but that is the reason. That is what's happening. It's an absolutely huge move, man. It's an absolutely huge move. We absolutely can't deny that at all. But could it affect Chelsea in a positive way? Do Chelsea go in for Kolo Muani? I personally don't really want us to do that because we looked at him before we got João Pedro. He was expensive. He hasn't performed amazingly well. And if I'm honest, just keeping Nicolas Jackson would be a better option than going for Kolo Muani. But obviously, if Nicolas Jackson really wants to go and would be happy to go to Newcastle to, at the end of the day, they're a Champions League club, man. You know what I mean? It's not exactly as prestigious as Bayern Munich, but they are a Champions League club. They have been buying players. They've got an amazing manager in Eddie Howe, and they've got a core of really good players like Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, Tino Livramento is really good. They've definitely got good players at the club. So it could be an interesting option. The other interesting thing is there's been so many tweets going out tonight. Ben Jacobs, Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, Florian Plettenberg, they are all absolutely on it at the moment. So supposedly Nicolas Jackson was going to go straight to Senegal because he's in the Senegal team for the international break next week. But if this is going to happen, maybe he stays in Munich or comes back to London to do a medical. Oh man, there's just so much that could happen. One thing is for absolute sure, tomorrow is going to be nuts. I'm going to be up pretty early in the morning checking the news, and I will be doing one last live stream, not forever, but just of this week of live streams that I've been doing. I will be doing one last live stream on the Blue Lounge with Mo and probably with Behind the Dugouts, I think with Nizion of Blue Clouds Media and potentially with Sadiq from Worldwide Chelsea as well. All absolute legends, and it's really, really fun having a chat with them. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I just wanted to make a short little video. Yes, Isak has gone to Liverpool. What do you think about it? Is that the league over? Or, is it not as simple as that? I think Ekitike and Gakpo might end up missing out on this, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. Do you think we're going to go in for another striker, or do you think we should be happy with Mark Yu and João Pedro and the eventual return of Liam Delap? Liam Delap, just to go on him a little bit actually, his injury looks like it might be more serious than we initially thought as well. So it is a bit of a worry, and I'm not sure I trust Mark Yu to be, Mark Yu isn't as good as Liam Delap, for instance, and that's essentially who we're bringing him to replace. And ultimately that will put a lot more pressure on João Pedro as well. If Liam Delap is going to be out for 3-4 months. Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of speculating here, but the news has he's having another scan because it's not as simple as it initially seemed. And the initial prognosis was a 6 to 8 week kind of time that he'd be out for, but it's looking like it may be a fair chunk longer than that. So do we need to go in for someone else? Do we look at Strand Larsen? Do we look at Kolo Muani? Obviously Alexander Isak's gone and he was the last really big striker available on the market. Conrad Harder went to Red Bull Leipzig. I reported earlier that we were interested in Conrad Harder. I wasn't super fussed about that one, to be honest, but he has chosen Red Bull Leipzig and he's gone there, so that's absolutely not going to happen. There is a lot that's going to happen tomorrow, guys. So stay tuned because we are going to be covering it one way or the other. But before that, get involved in the comments, man. I'd absolutely love to know what you think about it. Give me your speculation. Give me your ideas, your rage, whatever you've got about this, man. Talk to me about it in the comments because tomorrow is going to be mental and I desperately want to know what you've all got to say about it. Nice one, guys. I'm actually going to wrap the video up there now. I hope you've all had an absolutely wicked day and I will catch up with you all very, very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.